Holy Sunday miracle. I can't. I can't. Why are they still alive? You gonna make them suffer?
Magic fish. It's okay. Gotta watch out. Jesus is running out of mana, though.
Oh, did he have a mana meter?
Well,
Was there?
yeah, you see the bar on the right? Watch, see, now he's getting crucified. He's out of magic. He's gonna
Oh,
use his last bit
shit.
of magic. I feel like that's a little much.
Very, very much so.
See? There you go. So,
And welcome to the show.
yeah, welcome to a special episode of the Game Related Network.
Yeah, the Church of GRN.
Yeah.
We are here on this beautiful Sunday morning.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Sabbath, if you will.
Indeed.
Or Saturday night for most
Yeah.
of us. Whatever.
It's a crossover.
Yeah. We're transitioning.
We're sans Zach tonight. But, you know, we're going to do our usual thing. We're just going to talk about games and talk about what we've been playing, what's up, what's new. That's new. That
That's
came out
very
today.
new.
So,
Well, you hit me with that link earlier in the group chat. I was like, what? Because it didn't show, you know how normally it pulls up the thumbnail?
Okay, yeah.
I just saw the link, and then it was a Twitter thing. I was like, what news does Kevin have? And I saw Zach's laugh reaction, but it gave no inclination of what it was. I couldn't believe what I was looking at, man.
That's some magic right there. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised it's taken this long for, like, you know, a game like that to come out.
Like that one?
Like that. Yeah, like that.
That's bro, I thought it was VR at first when you first showed me that.
Maybe that's going to be a patch. Maybe they'll get into the VR space. That could be profitable for them. I don't know.
To be honest, if it goes VR,
Who knows?
I might try to find a way to do some first person Jesus thing. See what that's like. You know?
Some miracles.
Might be some there. You know, I feel like it's either gonna give you like an interesting experience or like a God complex. Like, this isn't so hard. I'm just
You just press the trigger and you spawn fish, or like it didn't seem like there was a lot of mechanical depth. Like you just had your Jesus bar and like you're just like working miracles by pulling your hands up. It's like, come on, you're just gonna like boil it down to that. Like Jesus has force powers, just like, I don't know.
It's like that emoji.
Yeah.
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 You're just gonna emoji things better.
Yeah.
I'm really disturbed by those fish still being alive though. That doesn't seem very.
I thought it was a neat trick. I mean, like the fish, the guy was so like distraught, you know, and hungry, and then like all of a sudden all this fish started popping out of his bucket, and man, I mean, I was just thinking about how they're just generating those fish, you know, like, and like, do the fish have physics? How many fish can you fit in that bucket? Is the bucket
Start overflowing, your cup runneth over, so to speak. Oh man, that's crazy. I remember back in the day on NES, I had a friend, Shasta Mikey, back in the day, he had this game. It was like a baby blue cartridge, and it was Bible stories. Okay. And I didn't grow up going to church or anything like that, but he really heavily did, so much so that they would have that game. And I remember playing it because I was just curious, and like Noah's Ark was one of the games, and you just went around like grabbing animals to bring back to the ark. But you'd stack them up, and so you just walk around like carrying like a sheep over his head and running around, and you find like a cow or whatever, you like stack them on top of each other.
Just carrying multiple.
Just mobbing, just super strength Noah.
Awesome.
So there's been several cracks at.
There's a market. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, you know, there's a lot of new stuff coming out in the video game universe, in the video game industry, but that's definitely something fresh. You know,
very much so.
They're tackling a new angle. You know, good luck. Maybe we'll see how that goes.
That walking on water physics, man.
Oh yeah.
What if there's gonna be like any balance mechanics to that? Like, can he fall in somehow? Because I feel like that couldn't have been easy if that was the thing that someone could do. It'd take a lot of focus. Yeah. And whatever you're doing, whether it's some like force manipulation, Star Wars wise, or something else, either way, you gotta be locked in.
My question is there going to be support for ray tracing? I mean,
we
missed
want
opportunity.
The
if there's not, I mean, just saying.
That way you can see the faces of the people behind him, awed by what's happening. You know,
yeah.
If they get that real with ray tracing,
Oh, well, that's the goal, man. I mean, yeah, eventually. I'm excited. The next series is NVIDIA GPUs. Rumors are coming around for the 3000 series, and hopefully ray tracing is much improved. I'm excited because this next generation is going to be a shrink down to a new processing node, down to I want to say 7 nanometer, because I think Turing is on 12 nanometer. I don't know.
That's almost cutting it in half.
It's moving down. It's gonna. I think we're going to see another big power efficiency jump. But it's going to be interesting. But anyway, yeah, the Jesus game looks crazy. But new NVIDIA GPUs. Let's segue out of the Jesus game. New NVIDIA GPUs. I'm holding out. I would the Turing series, the 2000 series GPUs. They were pretty enticing. I mean, like the performance is there in some regards, but I don't know.
It just got off to a bad jump. I think like the key with stuff like that, you got to get off to the right jump because the generations aren't that long usually.
Yeah.
And if you get off to a slow start, by the time you correct course, you're going to be right around the corner from the next launch. And doing kind of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Staying with the 1000 series and waiting for the 3000 series as opposed to, highly considering the 2000 series. You've kind of talked me out of it, so I shouldn't say highly considering, but
they're there, and it's like you've got a 1080 and I've got a 1080 Ti, so we're both at the high end of the Pascal generation. Like the top two cards from that gen. The Turing GPUs, really all they did was introduce ray tracing through their the tensor cores. And ray tracing is a new technology, isn't widely supported in a lot of games, and if you're not using those Turing cores, I feel like it's just kind of wasted space on your GPU. So, it's nice to kind of just let RTX bake in the oven. Maybe more devs will start adopting it, and AMD is supposed to be getting in the ray tracing game, so hopefully it becomes a bigger thing.
Well, the PlayStation 5 is evidence of that, because they said they're going to have ray tracing out of the box built in, and AMD is doing their GPU.
Yeah.
It's kind of a giveaway for certain things, but also in the sense of if a console's advertising that as one of its bullet points on its next console, then you would think that developers would be focused on it too,
Right.
I don't know if it's going to be a big deal, but at the same time, if you're not doing it and other people are mastering it, I feel like you're kind of setting yourself to maybe fall behind conceptually, maybe not so much so in reality, but you know how these things work with businesses, like that panic, like, oh, we got to keep up, we got to be.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that's going to be the thing. Because, I mean, look how fast 4K became a thing. I thought that was so far down the road compared to when it became just commercially available on a console. I was like, definitely PCs, cool. Never would have thought this generation of PlayStation would have done it at first, at the beginning of the generation.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, when you get down to the brass tacks of it, like if you have the GPU power, it's easier to run things at 4K at a reasonable frame rate in some scenarios. I guess I gotta speak more relative terms. When you're at 4K, you're more GPU bound. So I think the consoles of this generation are able to meet that basic or that baseline, of performance where they can push out like either native 4K or checkerboard 4K or like some kind of like 4K footage or not footage but gameplay at a reasonable frame rate, despite having lower clocked and lower powered CPUs. The next generation, man, I mean, they're gonna be a big step up, and I'm excited to see what they can really push. And yeah, it's gonna be cool to see the new tech. I want to see what AMD does with ray tracing.
I feel like we should start getting stuff soon. I mean, it's pretty much a year away now.
Yeah.
From when I feel like next December we're gonna see both of these consoles at least.
Totally.
I don't know if they're both gonna launch in December, but by then I think they're both gonna be out. PlayStation usually launches in December if I remember the last few.
I would imagine, they're going to try and get out by the holiday.
Yeah.
It just makes sense financially. And the way that they're trying to compete with each other, Microsoft and Sony, I think it's likely that we'll see them both launch around the same time, especially using similar hardware. Yeah. At least like in general sense.
Well, I wonder though too, because look at the One X. Like, I've been tempted to get one of those the whole time it's been out. Obviously having a PC and them being so forward with making their titles available on both, it kind of eliminated the need for it, but just on the specs of the console that can do all of that alone, like that thing's impressive. So what are they following that with? You know,
well, it's
like,
well, I mean, if you look at the Xbox One X versus the One or One S or the PlayStation Pro, they're both running on a similar AMD Jaguar CPU with relatively similar CPU clock speeds. The big thing with the One X is I think it was with the graphics memory, as well as upgrading to a better version of the AMD Polaris architecture. Like the PS4 and the PS4 Pro are both using what's basically equivalent to an AMD RX 480, I think. It's like in terms of the silicon. I think the Xbox One X, I want to say it was the GDDR. Like, yeah, it's a confluence of factors, but they basically just without changing the spec too much, like CPU wise and the architecture too much, they just gave it more GPU and bandwidth, I believe. It's been a while since I looked at the specs, but yeah, they did a good job. But yeah, with the next gen, I mean, they're going to be moving to a way better CPU architecture and graphics architecture, so it's going to be awesome seeing what they do. I have pretty high hopes for the baseline performance. I mean, they're basically going to be like a mid-range CPU from like last year, you know?
Which is, I mean, that's, to me, the stuff lasts now, you know. It's hard to come out with something that's going to make this stuff obsolete and non-competitive within a certain time frame. So I feel like if they're within that range, these next consoles are going to be... Well, we're going to see the smallest gap, I think, between PC and console gaming that we've ever seen.
Well, the thing is with the last, or rather our current gen of consoles with Xbox One and the PS4, they were a lot less of a jump than they should have been relative to other console generations. So this is going to be finally a big jump back up to like more current tech, and I think it's going to be a huge boon for that console generation. By virtue of just not being behind the curve in such a big way already. Because it's about time, I think, that consoles got to a better CPU architecture. And the way AMD has been running things with their Zen architecture, it's been insane. So I'm expecting some pretty cool things from this next gen consoles.
I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited to start hearing stuff come out and start seeing the presentations, because I mean, PlayStation Experience is coming up soon. That's coming up real soon. We have the Video Game Awards coming up. We're going to see some stuff coming out. I just saw something right now. They said there's been 0 leaks so far. And I'm like, that's pretty impressive if that's true. And I haven't heard anything, you know? And if they're, because they usually do some major shit. And if nobody's saying shit or it's not getting out, I'm excited to see what's going to come out, man.
For sure.
And then you got I forget what they call their little presentation that they're gonna do with it, but I think they're coming out early next year with that shit too. But I mean, I have to double check on all this, but we're in for it, man. I mean, we keep talking about on the past podcast about the springtime and all the games coming out. I mean, 2020 in general, because we got that on the back end with a new generation starting. I mean, that's how crazy spring is that it blinds us to the actual immense event of the birth of a next generation.
And what I think is going to be great about this next gen for consoles is it's going to stop holding back development on consoles because of bullshit reasons, like, you know, we can't manage that much going on, you know, and it's going to be more homogenous to develop for these architectures, with the fact that PS4 and Xbox are going to be based on the same stuff. So I think it's going to be better for porting between console and PC, and just parity in terms of development, where it's not like, like for example, like Destiny, like they can't expand too far on the game because of like hard drive limitations on consoles. Like Sony won't let them make the game so much bigger, you know? Things like that. But it's going to be great. I don't know. Yeah, the technology is always moving forward, and I'm really excited to see maybe PSVR 2, whatever they want to call it.
And the fact that they have all these other things going on too with crossplay and all these, everyone's playing nice right now.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to see. Right now, as we're having this conversation, it makes you wonder because you know how Nintendo and Microsoft have been doing that crossover deal where a lot of Microsoft games are coming out on Switch.
Yeah,
but we haven't seen it go the other way.
Yeah.
And you know how we talk about the Switch Pro and all this?
Mm-hmm.
What if instead of doing Switch Pro, they kind of do a thing where they release certain first-party Nintendo games on an Xbox to give you like that beefed up? Because I feel like at some point this can't just be a one-way thing. Although for Microsoft, I'm sure it's beneficial getting their games in a portable console and not having to produce their own.
I think it's interesting. I think it's kind of strategic though. If they only go one way to the Switch, right? They give their product the exclusivity of that portability.
Yeah.
But if they go the other way around, I think it may start cannibalizing on their own market in some ways. But no, I think that's still a valid proposition. Oh man, there's something I was gonna say. Fuck it, lost my thought.
I wonder if we'll see anything like that though, or even if it doesn't go straight like a game. If there's gonna be like cross development on certain things, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like that would be kind of cool to see. Or oh shit, what if Rare and Nintendo could start working again via this agreement?
That'd be cool.
That'd be real. Let me get some Perfect Dark back in this world. Some shit God,
I just remember what I was going to say.
On that shit all day.
I heard a rumor. It's a rumor. I just want to stress it's a rumor. That there may be a Horizon Zero Dawn PC port coming. And it was leaked by the same guy who leaked that Death Stranding would be coming to PC.
Whoa.
But again, it's a rumor. There's salt. Take some salt with this, a spoonful.
Well, that makes sense. And I've also wondered how Sony's going to deal with the PC space because Microsoft is doing so much, like with the Game Pass and having their Play Anywhere program and stuff like that. And I play all my Microsoft content on PC. I don't even have an Xbox, like I said earlier. So that means Microsoft is getting money from me that they wouldn't get otherwise.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure Sony's like, yo, we're missing out on this pie.
Get a slice of that.
They're essentially doing the same thing on that front that Microsoft's doing with VR and not having a headset or at least making the mixed reality format available on their console that other people are making headsets for.
Dumb.
It's baffling, But it's kind of the same thing. Why isn't Sony putting their first party stuff on a PC when the competition's doing it? And when you're doing such a killer job with what you're doing on your console, imagine taking those shackles off.
Oh my God,
like Uncharted on your PC.
I want it so bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, someone like you would probably play a lot of those first party games by now.
Up.
Yeah.
I'll even download another launcher.
Yeah.
Like come on, Sony.
That's saying something too, because we got 68 of them fucking things right now.
Yeah.
But no, for real, I hope that happens in the next gen too, with it closing the gap technologically.
Yeah.
I think that would help the VR space too. Sony unleashing their VR fucking acumen on PCs.
Ooh. Be awesome.
Yeah.
But speaking about stuff coming to PC. This week we've got to get back to Halo. Halo Reach. Halo Reach has finally dropped on PC through the Master Chief Collection, which has been in development for a while. We've got the background going with the Master Chief, so obviously we're pretty hyped.
Oh yeah, we're real hype on this shit, man. I've never played Reach either. I think I've played every other Halo game and all the way through thoroughly.
Right.
But I never played Reach.
Yeah, I think Reach, same thing for me.
ODST. I didn't play that one through either.
Yeah, maybe the same one there. But Halo 1, 2, and 3, and 4, or what was 4?
4, 5, same, all that. ODST, the only reason I didn't is because it just felt so limited in comparison. I know they called it ODST for Orbital Drop Shock Trooper or whatever.
Right.
But when you put the Halo name on there, you expect the Spartan powers.
Sure.
And I can't run and jump as high as I'm used to. I was like, that's a different game now.
Yeah.
And that just kind of turned me off to playing it, even though I heard it's a great game.
Yeah,
you know? But yeah, those are the two I haven't got to. In this one, there's 4 Spartans. So I want to really get down. It looks like it's running real good too, man.
Yeah, it's
I know you said
crispy,
you having
man.
some issues at higher refresh rates though.
Yeah, small issues. I mean, I'm running uncapped, and I have a 144 hertz refresh rate monitor, and over 60 hertz, you get some like visual issues with animations, and it just kind of looks like the animations are stuttering, or like your game is stuttering, but it's not stuttering. It's just the animation is just kind of fuzzy. It's hard to explain, but if you see it, you see it. But if you lock at 60, it's fantastic. And then there's some audio issues, like the gunplay is a little quiet. That's about it. I mean, that's really about it.
It's the fact that we got Halo on PC.
Yeah.
At long. I mean, Halo 1 and 2 came out on PC. I remember that. I didn't have a PC, but I remember seeing it. And I was like, why would they? It's just such a natural. It's a first-person shooter. It's Microsoft.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a writing. It's like 2020.
Yeah.
We're gonna get back to clarity, seeing things a little. Hopefully, you know.
Yeah. No, but it's a classic game. The Halo series is classic. I'm excited to just get the whole fucking series on my PC. Reach is a good start. They're doing it chronologically because I guess Reach is like a prequel.
Yeah, I remember them alluding to the events of Reach.
Yeah.
In I think 2 and 3. Which is cool. I'm cool with it. I kind of would, wish they would just drop it all at once like they did for the console version.
Right, but the way they're developing it, and I don't know, they're taking their time. At this point, though, they have the foundation there for the whole framework. They've got, if you go into Reach right now, when you load up the game, you have a menu for all the other games.
Oh,
so
dope.
it's all there. They've got all of that developed, and they've got Reach ready to go. Now, as they develop the other games, they just need to kind of like bring it into that framework now. So there's been a lot of development into the framework first. So it's going to be interesting to see, how the development goes. I don't know how long it's going to take for the rest of the games to get up. But
do they incorporate
honestly,
like Halo channel and all that?
Huh?
They incorporate like Halo channel and all that?
Oh, I don't know.
Halo channel is cool. I mean, they had some original content. I remember when Halo 5 dropped.
Yeah.
There was like a little mini series that went along with. It's like a prequel to the show. It kind of showed you the events of.
Okay.
I forget the guy's name, but he was the guy hunting Master Chief when you kind of switch between the two. I don't know. Did you ever play 5?
Yeah.
You went between the two guys.
Or
Not the Elite, but the other guy.
I don't think I played 5 actually.
Okay, so 5 is a duel. Like Master Chief is missing, and you're playing the guy looking for him.
Oh, okay.
And you switch between Master Chief and him.
Nice.
And they're both Spartans. You know what I mean? So it's cool. And they're kind of like adversaries in that. Oh, I see what you mean with the quiet. That
right.
That was weird. Yeah, that's way too.
It's
like
not,
dulled out. It's almost like it's got a like a filter on it.
Yeah, and you can listen if you listen like the audio or the dialogue rather, the disparity is there. But it's not. I mean, it's not that bad. It's not the end of the world. It's just not that great.
It's fixable.
Yeah, and that's an issue. I feel like that's like so easy to fix. Like, okay, give it a week.
It is weird that it's there through all the Q&A they do.
Yeah.
No one's like, hey man, the gun volume.
They said they were aware of it, but yeah, again, I'm like, I don't understand why it's not an easy fix. Maybe it's literally just an issue of like, I don't know, rendering or exporting, and like it just takes a long time, or like, but the mixing to me just seems like such an easy fix. Just like turn the volume up, like like somebody like with audio engineering experience, and you as well, like feel like literally just like turn it up.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. Maybe, how does it get up the chain though, or how do you push that out? Does it take a lot of work to like integrate that?
Probably at a company like that, and the series of approvals and all of this and that. Because you know that sniper rifle, not the sniper rifle, the pistol's quiet as hell.
Yeah. It's just.
And that thing's supposed to have some oomph,
right?
And yeah. I mean, I know it kind of. I mean, I haven't worked with a modern video game engine, but just kind of the brief experience I've had with them, you're just really setting parameters down for different elements of the game.
Yeah, it's weird. But the game, you can see it. It's crispy. I'm assuming this is actually his PC footage.
Yeah. I mean, sure we got some PC footage. Yeah, that volumetric stuff looks dope in the background. Look, it's running crispy smooth and all of that. I'm interested to see how they go about enhancing it, because I mean I wouldn't have anything to compare it to, never playing it before, but on the collection when I first got it, when I did have an Xbox on 1 and 2, you could flop on the fly between the updated graphics and the old school original ones.
Yeah.
And it was a significant difference. They used all different assets.
I think they have the same thing here. You can swap between enhanced and original.
That's awesome. Also, I mean, it's overdue. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm glad they're doing it. I'm real glad they're doing it.
But yeah, it's great to have a Halo on PC. It's fun. I'm just playing it through Game Pass right now, but I'm for sure gonna buy the whole thing. Get the whole thing in my library.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, man, you got Halo's a must. That's such a I don't even know what you would call it. It's a juggernaut of a series in gaming, man. So it's a Rushmore series, honestly.
Yeah.
If you want to put a first-person shooter up there, I feel like Halo's the only thing that could almost out-edge like Call of Duty.
For sure.
Yeah.
Even
with the Call of Duty fan base, that appeals to, they even be like, oh yeah, Halo.
I mean, but Call of Duty for me just represents such a pedestrian lane.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be all like highbrow about gaming, but like Call of Duty, it's like I don't know. There's not a lot of personality to Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
No.
Like you're in a war and you're shooting guns. Like Halo, at least like there's some art style and like I don't know. It's not just like
there's the Covenant. There's lore to it.
Yeah.
It's a continuing story that we've been following for. When did the first Halo come out? 2001?
2001, yeah. Yeah, so thereabouts.
Jesus, man. They're about to be on the 20th anniversary of Halo.
I know. It's amazing.
We're getting old, man.
Yeah, hey.
We were just talking about LAN parties earlier.
Yeah.
That was the one that introduced me to that whole thing.
Yeah. Hey, oh, man. I remember a lot of Halo LAN parties in high school. Just hooking up Xboxes. Just getting down.
I miss that.
Yeah.
I mean, I say I miss it. Even if we went back to it, it wouldn't be the same. It still be fun.
Right.
But that era was such a cool just moment of time. Because we were all excited about it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Now it'd be like a cool thing. Hey, you want to do that? You have a couple of friends. But everyone back then, Halo?
Yeah. It was a big deal. And, man, that shit rocks. Still rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah, Halo. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
And I do hope that some of those old school like Halo parties pop up where it's just like a gathering based on the game and everyone chilling out, and all of a sudden it's 2 a.m. and what the fuck do we do with our night?
Yeah.
We had
2
a
a.m.
great
You
time.
mean like 5 a.m, dude? And
I
it's like
stand
you just
corrected.
drinking Red Bull and like Mountain Dew, and you're on your like 9th slice of pizza, and that's the way it should be.
And as you grab that nice slice, you're like, Beaver Creek?
Yeah. Man.
That's a great time to be a gamer. It's such a good time to be a gamer, dude.
Yeah.
Shenmue 3 just dropped. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a crazy time. Like, so much is happening. We get Shenmue 3, and just months later, there's a Final Fantasy 7 remake. Like, 2 things that people have been waiting decade plus for, and they're just months apart.
Not to mention, some Half-Life again.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, which... Again, I'm still going nuts over. So I finished Half-Life 2. I got to do episode 1 and 2 now, but I've done Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2 now. And also, there's been some new leaks in the source 2 code. There may be Left 4 Dead VR coming through.
Can't say I'm surprised, but I can say I'm excited.
Easy fit, but I'm scared.
I'll jump in it with you, bro. We'll be scared together.
As long as I got a team and we can smash those zombies together, I'm good. But we're
gonna be doing like Rochambeau and rock. Are you gonna do it or am I gonna do it? That'd be a cool little feature put in there. Have rock paper scissors functionality.
Oh yeah. Well, it's all, you don't even need to do like a game. Like it's literally just like you can see.
Okay, all of us don't have indexes. Okay, bro. We all have knuckles controllers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, eventually.
But no, I mean that would be dope, and that is true. But all right, bro. Who's taking the hit? Yeah, so it's got to be that and Portal. I mean, Portal would be the most difficult to pull off.
Yeah,
but the dopest to pull off.
Yeah,
too.
it's kind of a conundrum. In the interview that some of the Valve developers had with Jeff Keighley, it seemed like they kind of put Portal on the shelf as far as VR goes because of the challenges that they had. So I think they went with, obviously they went with Half-Life because it was easy fit.
They had to. Too.
Like, it just makes sense. And Left 4 Dead, again, easy fit. Do it in VR. You don't need much more of a springboard, from there, Yeah. Like, you just iterate on that. And then Portal, you've got those locomotion mechanics, and that's I think the biggest issue with most VR gamers. I think they're gonna probably wait until VR is more of a thing. If they do a Portal game, I don't know. Maybe they'll come out with something new. That's not.
I was wondering what that third IP could be. Yeah. That would be cool, an original one.
I would be down with that. I'd be really down with that. Something completely brand new that's just VR, so people aren't like, oh, Left 4 Dead and Half-Life and Portal
like
in VR.
I'm so pissed off about.
Yeah, no, I do love that salt. It's fun because it's like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in VR. Why would you have a problem with anything being in VR? That just means you get to be in that world.
It's only if you don't have VR. That's why you have a problem with it.
Even when I didn't, though, like I was hyped. Like when you first showed me your VR setup, I knew I have to have this. I don't have this.
I remember you saying that immediately. Like after you got out, you're like, I have to have this. And you got it.
Yeah. I'll follow through, son. Yeah. And I'm so happy I do, man. There's so many different ways it's enhanced my life and made me excited about gaming in a way I haven't been excited about since I first got a game console. And you're like, oh, this is playing fucking Mario and shit back then. It blew my mind. And I was like, oh, what else is there?
Dude, even just we were playing some table tennis the other night.
That was great.
It was so much fun. It was just like good, like clean fun, like playing fucking table tennis.
Literally in real life.
Like it
was good shot, you motherfucker.
Yeah. And it felt so real. Like it's not like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. I mean, like having like doing a physical activity with somebody like miles away.
Yeah.
So seamlessly.
And there you're feet away. Like,
yeah.
That's just crazy, man. A game like that.
Yeah.
Like ping pong. It's such a simple thing, right? But having that act where you're like, hey, man, we're just shooting the shit. It's almost like playing catch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of like a mindless thing, but we're chopping it up, having a good time. At the end of it, you have an experience of all those things together. And you're like, there's no other way to get that other than being there. And that's almost 1-to-1. Like, not everything is that close.
Sure.
But that one is really close to being
that's one of those experiences that I always say is one of the most realistic just by virtue of the simplicity of it. Like it's not trying to build a metaverse. It's just fucking ping pong.
It's just
you just stand there, you get your table set, and then like you play ping pong, and it's like I feel like I'm better at ping pong now.
Oh, I guarantee you are. I bet you if you played that game every day for like 2 months, and then you went and picked up a real paddle and shit, you'd probably be working your friends. Yeah, they'd probably be like, dude, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Like we say it's just ping pong, but the spin, just the little things, you're like, whoa. Yeah. This is ping pong all the way through. Like even the serves, you're like, oh, let me hit the little edge of the table. Yeah. And it skips off. I don't know, man. That's just one little thing.
It's insane. Yeah. There's a lot going on. One thing I wanted to mention, I got a Steam controller. They are now discontinued, by the way.
Seriously?
So, yeah. I'm assuming there's a Gen 2 coming out.
Okay, I was like, that's
what
interesting.
People have been saying. Hopefully.
But normally they discontinue after they announce.
Yeah, but there's been rumors of a Gen 2. I don't know, but I got it for $5 plus $8 shipping, so $13. I got a cool new controller.
How do you like it? I haven't got it yet.
Honestly, I haven't really fucked around with it yet. I've like plugged it in, got the drivers and firmware updated, and like I've clicked the buttons, but like I haven't played with it in a game yet.
How are those trackpad things?
It's interesting. It felt I expected it to be more rubbery, but it's just straight plasticky.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was rubbery too.
Me too. Yeah, right. It's weird.
Does that depress it all, or like how does it work?
I'll bring it over and you can check it out. But it's interesting. I mean, it's very it's clicky. It's weird. You'll see. But it's got the shoulders and triggers and then like paddles on the back.
Oh, nice.
And then it's got
are they their
joystick.
own functionality? Do you program? Are they programmable?
Yeah. Programmable. Yeah.
I like
the whole thing is just like whatever you want to put on it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's got A, B, X, Y, joystick, start button, select button.
There's a joystick?
There's one, or not joystick, but one joystick, analog stick, whatever. Yeah. And then like, the two pads. One's kind of a D-pad, one's more of a just open circle.
Those things were so interesting. The first time I saw those, I was like, what is that? That's cool you got them. I saw them on sale before excuse me, for pretty cheap. I wonder what they're going to do with Gen 2 then, if that is in fact true. I mean, I feel like it has to be, especially after they dropped the Knuckles controller and they put so much into that. I kind of feel like their hardware division is cranking out.
I think they've learned some stuff.
Yeah.
They probably got some good good improvements in mind, I would imagine. Looking at, feeling the controller, I can imagine maybe they've got like a better fit, maybe some more functionality or better tactile sense and stuff. I don't know, man.
I bet you it's designed to go hand in hand with the Index too. I feel like now that they've released that, I wonder. I mean, I've never held that controller or whatever, but I feel like when you're in VR, you don't want to be feeling around for like not unconventional stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like in order to have that immersive experience, you don't want to think too much about the input.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I've considered trying it out in some VR games, but it would have to be something. I don't know. There's not a lot of games in the Steam VR ecosystem that use a controller I can think of. But it's there. I don't know. I could think of maybe some sim games like Elite Dangerous, maybe if you didn't have a HOTAS and you wanted to use that. There's a lot of options there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like No Man's Sky. Like, I'm looking forward to trying that Moss out. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you just picked that up, right?
Yeah, I got it on the winter sale for like $16 or something like that. I haven't played it at all, so I don't have any kind of feedback on it or impressions of it or whatever, or an opinion even. But I have looked into that game since it was a PSVR exclusive, and like, this is cool because we were talking about this before the cast with the third-person genre being kind of underappreciated
for sure
in VR for how cool it actually is and overlooked, and also the potential it could have too if people wanted to really dive into that. But that game looks like a really loving attempt towards it, and even down to like the fact they incorporated like ASL. American Sign Language, a lot of stuff. Yeah. So Moss, that's how it communicates with the player, I guess, because you're an entity in the world, I think.
Yeah.
And so Moss will communicate with. I don't know if there's words, but if for the hearing impaired, I think it might be something in there. But there's certain commands. I remember seeing something like this. It's the first game to incorporate that in there fully. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. I like that. And you're in that world, and virtual reality is immersive. So you could tell it's starting to spark innovative thought too, and thinking outside of the conventional box that we've been in, literally with our TVs. So I like that, and like Astrobot games like that, or Chronos we talked about is fucking phenomenal. Heavenly Sword. I feel like any game that's like that, you could put in VR and enhance it. Even if you don't put like VR specific functionality to it, if you could just look around and you have a full view of everything around you, it's just gonna make for a different experience.
Yeah, you get a better immersion and perspective, and I don't know. It's really weird looking down on like a little diorama, or like looking at the little play happening in front of you, or controlling that. It's another level. I mean, it feels like I said, overlooked because a lot of VR it's first person. That makes sense, because you're in the body and you can actually inhabit your character and do stuff, but in third person, it still gives you a greater depth of information and just perception, of what you're seeing and playing. It's a lot of fun. I don't know.
And that depth, man, that 3D effect alone just makes it so much more. I don't know, man. Like when you're looking at something, you can see like behind it or look around it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even if it's not to a huge degree, even if it doesn't add anything to the game, more or less, it just makes it look more tangible to you. You're looking down. Like imagine, I haven't done any of this Switch VR stuff. I don't know when I will, because I know I'm waiting for the more powerful version if it comes out, if it exists.
Yeah, maybe.
But imagine playing like a Mario or something down there, and you're just running around like seeing the coins, and like Mario's there as opposed to like on the screen. Like that alone, if that's all you get out of it, still is gonna make it so much of a cooler experience for you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It's we're getting there. I mean, slowly but surely, all the major players are getting their skin in the game, and it's glad to be along for the ride.
Fuck yeah, bro! Just Medal of Honor too. That's the next one. I got my eye on the big chip.
Yeah,
the big tip. So what's up with the Star Citizen?
Yeah,
bro?
so we put that on the list. I wanted to talk a little bit about Star Citizen. So I've been playing it a bunch recently. I backed it a long time ago, and a couple of my buddies play it, and they've been bringing it back in. And so basically, this is some footage from one of the more recent updates, the 3.7. The game starts you off generally. You just get out of bed, and you're in a hab on a space facility. I don't know what this guy's doing.
He's checking.
He's playing around with some stuff. But it's really cool how diegetic everything is. I mean, you can really interact with everything in a way that it's kind of like Skyrim levels, or that's the way they're going to be going for. Or I should say Skyrim. I mean, in the way that Bethesda games kind of implement object interaction on a minute level.
You know what this reminds me of? Like the opening of Deus Ex games, or when you're in your apartment. That's what I'm seeing too, where they're just trying to impress you, but they'll put a basketball in the room for no reason.
Yeah.
Hey, throw this around, check out physics because we did this.
Yeah,
That's kind of like what this looks like.
No, they just put so much shit in there, and a lot of it's superfluous. But this is they're walking out there at Port Olisar. You're walking out of the hab. They're gonna go down to maybe the ship deck and get in their ship. The game
is looking great.
Yeah,
man.
it's the graphics are incredible. It's performance is kind of hit or miss depending on your server, but for the most part, playable. There's tons of bugs. Animations are kind of wonky. Like if you watch that player, that's not.
Oh, homie, just
just doing weird shit. But you've got all the systems are there to play a game basically. This is the mission board. They're going through and looking at missions. Pick up missions like mercenary stuff, bounty hunting stuff. You want to do a cargo run, whatever. They added some caves. I think this is a mining video, so I think they're gonna go do some mining stuff. But it's all there. The game is they've got that foundation in place where now they're just building on top of it. Right now there's one star system with like a dozen or 2 dozen planets, maybe not 2 dozen, but a bunch of planets and stuff you can land on, some big cities.
They're planning on making multiple star systems.
Yeah, tons of
almost said citizens.
Yeah, they're planning on adding, I don't know how many, but quite a few systems. It's ultimately going to be a pretty big MMO for Star Citizen, and then there's going to be the Squadron 42 single player campaign, which is the one that's got all the actors like Mark Hamill and Gary Oldman, Gillian Anderson, Liam Cunningham. Bunch of people. It's a pretty
list.
Fucking A-list roster. Yeah. So that's where honestly, I feel like that's where a lot of their early budget went, is literally just paying the talent to do that mocap.
Lock them in, yeah.
And then they realize, oh shit, building this game is going to take a lot more technology, and so now they had to rebuild the engine to accommodate their needs.
I feel like this spot in the video has been a lot of. Very menu-y.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what the fuck they're doing here, but they're just going through some menus. Try to skip. Here we go. Now they're on the menu. So this is the starport. You can go up to the screen and call your ship. So they've got some ships. I hope they don't claim that one. That's gonna okay. It's gonna take time. They're gonna expedite it. Hopefully. So anyway, you can retrieve your ships here. You get in your ship and you go do space stuff. I was telling you about the guys I'm playing with. We're doing this mission tomorrow, and we've got a big ship that one of my buddies has as a subscriber for Star Citizen. It's a giant fucking yacht, and we're gonna fly that out with 2 ships loaded into it to go do a couple different activities. One group is gonna be one away team doing a security mission, taking out some guys at a bunker, and then another group is going to go mine. And then they're gonna rendezvous back on the ship. And it's all gonna be very organized, and it's gonna be fun, man. I don't know. I'm stoked. It's good gameplay. It's all alpha. It's all still long way to go.
But it looks like it's got a promising direction, man.
Yeah.
But looking at this is kind of the kind of shit I'm all about. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like I mentioned Deus Ex. That was my shit. You know, it's like Deus Ex meets Mass Effect meets Elite Dangerous. You know?
Yeah. No, as a big Elite Dangerous fan, this scratches so many itches. Like, flying the ships is great. It's Elite Dangerous. I have a longer relationship with. You know, like, I know the game pretty intimately, so I'm more confident in making assertions about it. Granted, this game's not even released yet, so, like, you know, all this is still subject to change. But for the most part, you know, like, I don't imagine they're going to change Port Olisar too much. You know, like, this is like the space station as it is. You know, that maybe they'll add some more stuff, but I don't know.
Oh shit! You just see the fucking planet.
That's I think that's a freelancer, so he's gonna. Yeah, you can see him getting the ship. You can see how diegetic it is. I keep using that word. That just means, like, if it's in the game, it's like
it's in the game.
Yeah, it's in the game. yeah.
That's the second time today that's come up. I love it. That's funny how shit.
But it's like, as opposed to, it's like, for example, like in a movie context, like, diegetic music is music that's like being played by like a radio in the movie, as opposed to like background soundtrack music. You know, so like everything that's happening in the game is happening in the game. Like, your menu is like a thing you pull up, like it's an AR thing, like from your wristwatch or something.
I got you.
And so all the activities you do and shit you do is you know, in the world.
Did he just power up his systems for his shit? Jeez.
Yeah.
Look like me when I first played Elite right here. How do I get it out of here?
So they're going to take off. Let's see. I don't know where they're going. I didn't see them plot a course. But yeah, you can go into camera mode.
Sick.
It's so cinematic. I've been just getting so many screenshots. The game's gorgeous. I mean, if nothing else, even if this whole game fails, it's just very pretty.
Oh yeah, it wasn't because of the graphics engine.
Yeah.
I can see that right now, even with the choppiness and the glitchy walking dude.
Right.
It still looks fucking amazing. It'd be so sick, like a concept like this in like Knights of the Old Republic or something like that, in like a Star Wars universe.
Right. I would love it. Well, and the guy, so Chris Roberts, the guy who made this, he made the Wing Commander game back in the day.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Okay. A little tie.
Which Mark Hamill had a tie-in too. He did some stuff for that, which is why he's also involved in this. So now he's in a quantum jump. He's moving out to a nearby planet. I don't know what he's doing exactly, but you know, familiar scene, jumping into planets.
Yeah, man. This is very Elite Dangerous, like especially right here. Good lord. How far do you think they're away from like an official release?
I would say, I'm going to say 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I'd say probably another 2 years, yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
How long has it been in development?
2013? Yeah.
Wow.
2012, 2013, yeah. I backed it in 2015.
Damn,
like,
so that's going to be close to 10 years, but wow.
It's moving. Or I should say it's taken a long time. But again, I think they've developed a lot of tech for this game. I don't know. It's hard to kind of shoebox it because they're kind of doing their own thing, and there's just a hardcore fan base for this. Like, as much as people want to shit on the game, they just reached $250 million in funding in their latest like development round or funding round.
Jesus.
Yeah. The game just keeps raking in cash. I mean, you can blame Chris Robert or accuse him, or, you know, I mean, highlight his mismanagement of the game. Chris Roberts has, you know, if you want to talk about feature creep, I mean, this is one of those games where feature creep is just like insane. But honestly, it's kind of adding up to like something greater than the sum of its parts, and I think they're gonna do it because I don't know, they keep getting the money, and the game like keeps getting better, and like they have a very clear roadmap for what they're working on. Like you can go and look at it, and they have like a development checklist. You can see like what goals they've checked off specifically for like certain modules and stuff. So if you really like want to look at like what they're doing, it's there. I guess the transparency for me is proof enough that they're committed to it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the game is really going to happen.
Oh,
and it's, I don't know, man. It's pretty fucking dope.
It looks cool as shit, man. I love good sci-fi.
Yeah.
Love good sci-fi, and I love well thought out worlds. Period. This is a universe. It ain't just worlds. I'm excited to follow it, man. Hear your experience. I'm gonna think about the early backing. You know, I'm gonna have to really
honestly,
give that
do that at your own discretion. It's. I would say the game will be there when it's there, and I'm just banking on it. I'm literally banking on it. I put money in it. So, but
you're an investor.
I think they're really doing it. But there's still a bunch of crazy whales that are throwing thousands of dollars at the game, and I don't understand that. I don't understand it. It's too much. I'm willing to throw like money at like DLC or like upgrade investment, but like thousands for a video game.
Thousands, dude. That's a PC.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, that's hardware.
Yeah,
that's hardware levels.
That's how I see that shit. Like, nah, I would play you on some better hardware before I send that money.
Exactly.
Whatever though, they're helping us out.
Sure.
Anyone who's interested in the game developing and following it, those whales are pushing that envelope forward.
Yeah.
And it must be nice having that kind of expendable income. Just fuck it.
Just be able to throw that money at a video game. Yeah. If I had, a lot of money and not a lot of stuff to spend it on, maybe. But again.
Or just try to get bought into a studio. Yeah. Maybe not just a project, but a studio.
Yeah.
It's just me. Yeah. But speaking of studios, man, your boys at Bungie.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I want to see this trailer. We got a
new season coming up. Yeah, this is the Season of Dawn, Destiny 2 trailer. Fun shit.
Yeah, let's check this bad boy out. See this trailer.
Been busy,
Guardian. Talking about Halo 2. Bungie released that little thing to go out and compete with the Reach.
When you slew the Undying Mind, you changed the course of history. Now time is broken on Mercury, fractured by the Legion.
Yeah, so Mercury has kind of been by the fan base declared like not a very good DLC.
A new ending to
but
the
they're
Red
adding
War.
actually letting you drive your sparrows around now, I guess.
If you're willing to help,
Sparrow races are
walk
dope.
the corridors of time.
Shit, Sparrows.
They got a
You'll
new
need my
activity,
sundial to do it.
the sundial.
I built it
Maybe.
so that an ally of mine could cheat death. I failed to help him, and his death remains my greatest regret. They call me the greatest titan who ever lived.
Sure, you can.
You fight like a caged animal.
Bungie sure knows how to make some trailers though.
Real talk, man. This looks fucking cool.
Triple down. Why, your light is savage. What? Seven column. Bring the sky down upon them.
That was cool.
So yeah, it's the Season of Dawn. It's the new stuff. Starts next week. $10. New activities, some exotics, blah blah blah.
Yeah, man. My brother's been getting into that too. Between all these people around me playing Destiny, I'm intrigued, man.
Honestly, it's just a really fun game, there's so much you can do. There's a lot of money and time you can put into it, but it's honestly just like it's a game that's just really fun. The way I look at it is, it's like, I don't know. It's like a really hot girl that like wants you to go do a bunch of dumb shit. Like all right, we got to go run this errand. All right, now we got to go like do this, but then like we can go have fun and do, stuff, and but it's like you got to meet all these requirements if you want to do everything. There's so many activities. It's overwhelming at times, but if you just want to hop in and like shoot stuff, it's very satisfying.
That's how it starts. I feel like I have to enjoy that first, and then you'll get me through the other stuff. Like, I have to enjoy the core of the game.
Yeah.
For the most part, there's some games where the story is just so intriguing. I'm like, okay, I hate the game, but I gotta know what happens. This rare, but it happens.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I like a good narrative, but that's core with this game.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Bungie. I see y'all with this Destiny thing, being independent on your own again.
Right.
Fuck Activision, man. Hopefully people follow your lead. Respawn, but just don't lose the Star Wars license because you made the only good game.
Yeah.
Whew. Speaking of, I've been playing that, and I don't want to give any spoilers away or anything like that, but that game continues to surprise me. I've actually been able to get a good chunk into it.
Yeah.
And I'm on my, I want to say, third planet worth of missions right now, and it's a movie, dude. It's an epic.
How many hours have you put into it so far?
I would say, I feel comfortable saying like 7 or 8 hours.
Okay.
I'm in, and I feel like there's a lot.
Yeah.
A ton. Even my friends that are playing that are way ahead of me, they come like, this game's a lot bigger than I thought. Like, I thought I was going to the end, and then I got new power, yada, yada, yada.
Like that.
Yeah, I like it a lot, man. And there's a lot of respect paid to it and all of that. And going through like Kashyyyk is one of the planets I was on, and you hear about that. You never really see it represented enough in the lore. Yeah. And so it's cool to see what they did with it, And there's a scene when you first get there when you're in the AT-AT and you take it over and you're just mobbing around, just blowing shit up.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's on my list. I need to get that.
You do, man. As somebody who's even interested in it, even if somebody was halfway interested in it, I would say you are wise to play this game one way or another. However, whether you buy it, Game Pass it, borrow it, do it. Play that shit, man.
I'll get it.
And if you don't play video games, watch whenever it comes out the truncated like cutscenes version, so you can be up to date on the Star Wars canon, because it's a good story.
Nice.
Like, not even to just sell it as a good video game story. This is a good story, man.
That's
so
cool.
yeah, it should be paid attention to by Star Wars people, man. But other than that, I don't want to jump in too much into it because I won't spoil it. I feel like it's real easy to spoil this game.
Yeah.
But play that shit. I even had footage put up, but I'm not gonna pull it up because just play that shit, man.
Yeah, I'll get down on that.
Yeah. And The Mandalorian, I finally started that.
Oh yeah.
I like that a lot.
It's the way.
It is. This is the way.
This is the way.
I fucking the first time that, not to spoil, I'm gonna say who says it or why, but the first time that was said, I was like, gangster as fuck. That is authority for your ass. Yeah. This is the way.
Yeah. Okay.
You're right.
You
right.
Yeah, that's the way. I mean, you mentioned it's the way.
Yeah, and everyone's seen the memes. Baby Yoda is, I don't use this word a lot. It's adorable. Yeah. Baby Yoda's fucking adorable.
It's too fucking cute.
Yeah.
The memes are outrageous. It's too much. You got to contain that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of respect for those who haven't seen it yet either. I should have never saw I should have got that moment of reveal like, holy shit, it's Baby Yoda. But I didn't get that because I saw the memes. Not mad, though, because they're pretty comedy. Yeah. And not spoiling. I haven't run into any spoilers yet. Like I do for like when Marvel and Endgame and shit was coming out. And that was like an all-time high of just spoiler-based fuckery on the internet.
So I watched that movie pretty late.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
The only spoilers I got for the movie. So, spoiler alert. Anybody who hasn't seen Avengers Endgame at this point, pause it now. Nobody's watching anyway, so I'm just gonna say it now. The only spoilers I got were Fat Thor.
Oh, that was ruined for you?
Yeah. But that could have been worse. But there was no context. I just heard I just heard the words Fat Thor, and I was like, or like something like that, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then I saw the meme like, this is an absolute win with the Hulk. So I got and then like so I got like the Brainiac or whatever.
You saw that he was a different form. Of
yeah. Which whatever.
I guess that doesn't ruin anything. Although that Fat Thor reveal was
pretty
a
good.
quality
pretty
laugh.
Good. Yeah.
That whole Fortnite scene and shit like
For
that.
sure.
New Master 69 or whatever the
right.
hell. The fact that I wonder how much Fortnite paid to get into Endgame.
Yeah.
Dude, that had to cost a lot.
Well, I'm glad nothing like story specific was ruined. That's the only thing. Like the gags or like a couple like things. I'm okay. I expect that if I'm going to delay on watching the movie, but I'm just glad I didn't get the spoiler of the ending of like, you know, how things resolved.
Yeah.
That didn't get spoiled for me. That's all I cared about really, like plot wise, because like this fucking superhero movie, it's not like, I don't know, it's not like a big like mystery or like the plot, you know.
The complexity can only go so far.
Yeah. So I was okay with like some things being spoiled. I expected it.
Did you hear about that guy? This is the most vindictive shit I've ever heard in my life. So in what was it? Infinity War came out. This guy had posted a spoiler online, and it just ruined the movie for me. He was pissed, right?
Nice.
So this guy becomes friends with this dude, like tight, bro. Like they become best friends over the next year plus before Endgame comes out.
Okay.
And this like the intimate details of this guy's life.
Yeah.
I don't know, like if it's like best man in your wedding status, but it seemed like it was.
Yeah, they get like pretty close.
Yeah, and he did all that just to spoil Endgame for the guy.
That's petty, but I respect it.
That's God level pettiness and execution. Like that's, but also I'm afraid of that person. That's commitment to the long game on a sadistic level that I cannot fathom. Like, sure, I'll watch your kid, but wait till I ruin this movie for you. Like, what? Yeah.
You got to build that trust up and then break it down, pull the rug out underneath them, and just ruin, I guess, the movie for them.
Yep. See what happens, though? The kind of shit you put yourself in line for? Being a troll right after something releases? It should be a crime. Yeah, man, I don't know. That little anecdote was entertaining. I feel like I should brighten that shit up. But
no.
Yeah, man, I don't really have much going on. I know we've talked about coming up down the road doing like game of the year talk and all that stuff and our nominees, and I know that'll be coming up when we got the trio reconfigured and all that. Zach, if you're watching, hope it's a good episode, bro. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we'll be yin and yang right now. It's okay, bro. He's that's cool. But I hope you're sleeping well. You know what I'm saying? I imagine that's what's going on.
Hopefully you're just sleeping, not just playing video games without us.
Yeah, bro, we can stream together. It's cool.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't got to sneak to stream, bro. It's cool. We won't dog you out in front of everybody, though. You know, we'll stop now.
No.
But
it's all good. We forgive you.
Yeah, we forgive you. It's a holiday season.
Yeah. That's about it for me. I mean, other than, Star Citizen, Destiny, play a little Red Dead, play some Scrim.
Speaking of, I got to publicly thank you for sending over the copy of Scrim.
Pleasure, man. I got to spread the addiction. I need enablers.
You know what I'm saying?
Other people in on it for me. But there's some promising updates coming down the way. VRIK is coming out with some new shit soon. Working on some like gesture-based like spell system. I don't know what the whole deal is.
So you're getting your Doctor Strange on?
So well, I think it's gonna be more like if you like put your hand in the right spot, it's like a slot system for spells or something.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know the full depth of it. I gotta double check what his notes have been.
It makes one have like a Witcher build.
But there's been some great breakthroughs. The whole Skyrim VR modding community right now is just blowing up. VRIK is like a foundational like mod right now. He's working with some other modders to like integrate it with them. But today, or just yesterday, I think, a physics framework got released for the open source code got released for like a physics system. So that's gonna be really valuable for hopefully in VR for like actual,
sword fights.
Ultimately, it's mainly used right now with like cloth and hair and like body physics, but like I think it'll pay off in the actual gameplay physics regard. So we'll see, but there's just been a bunch of breakthroughs. There's also this guy who's the modder who authored mod called Race Menu. That's basically just something that adds a bunch of customization options for your character, and people make like presets for it. He's got a VR headset, so honestly, like in the next like few months, I expect we're gonna have like almost full compatibility with like all the VR or all the Skyrim mods that you would really want.
Wow, dude.
I don't know. It's just it keeps developing. It's such a crazy community. I mean, like I've been modding Skyrim for years now, and like seeing how VR has come along over the last like almost 2 years now, it's incredible. I mean, I wouldn't have never expected that we would get to this point, but like here we are.
A community, Bethesda owes that community so much,
Yeah,
man.
They really do.
76 is showing what happens when they don't have access. Straight up.
Right.
That's so crazy, and that you're showing all this innovation through just like the gesture-based spells and shit they would never do.
Yeah.
In this game, at least when they retrofitted to be in VR, maybe
Right.
they do it in the ground up version. Who knows though? I don't trust them. I don't think they would.
I guess there's a few angles to look at certain things. I mean, like when it comes to like bringing Skyrim into VR, you want to respect the original game, but also integrate it into VR as naturally as possible and as well as possible. But there's certain oversights, obviously that are there when it comes to the VR port with Skyrim in mind specifically. For example, like menus, there's no like pointer system. Like you could have easily integrated like a laser pointer system. That's one of the things the Race Menu modder is working on. I think he's gonna make like a laser pointer system where you can like when you pull up your menu in your inventory, you can actually like click on the tabs and like sort through things. Because right now it's a little convoluted going through certain menus.
I remember trying to go back. Was that on that game or on Fallout?
Either
one.
one.
I remember the Fallout menu was real mess.
Yeah, it was a mess, especially on touch when Fallout 4 first came out. They did actually end up patching it to get full touch support. It's better now. And even Fallout 4, they've actually got Fallout 4 script extender for VR recently. So that the community, eventually, I'm hoping Fallout 4 VR will get its legs when hardware is better and the modding communities have more time. But Skyrim VR right now is like better than it's ever been. There's also this guy got another mod for like water reflections working. I don't know, man. Like it just keeps getting better and better. I love it. The game's forever. It's never gonna stop.
It's really not.
Yeah.
There's a new set of consoles coming out.
Yeah.
They gotta find a way to get that on there.
Yeah.
And they're going to.
Oh yeah, Skyrim VR on like PS5 with PSVR 2. I'll play it. I'll buy it. Maybe. No, I won't. I've got it on PC. Sorry.
What if you could hook your PSVR 2 to the PC though?
But I just
Sony,
don't see the
something
benefit.
to think about.
There's no benefit. I mean, I just can't think of it.
Just make a dope headset that you
It'd
can
have to
make.
be a better headset than the Index.
It's
I
not
think it's a
gonna
hard
be
sell.
that.
That's
It's not gonna be
That's
that.
a hard sell.
Yeah. That's an impossible sell.
Yeah,
For a console?
I think they could get up to like. I want them to get up to like Rift S level.
Oh, they gotta be better than that.
I think they can do that too. Yeah.
You don't want to enter where the competition was like a year before you came out.
Sure, but for the console though, I don't know. All I'm expecting for PSVR 2 is hopefully a 90 hertz refresh rate, like actual baseline, as opposed to 60 hertz for 3 projection, or 120 hertz in a couple titles native, in a higher res, maybe a better headset fit, and better tracking and controllers. Sorry, that is my first thing. Tracking and controllers, but I mean, as far as the HMD goes, I'm not expecting a lot resolution wise. I mean, I would like to see them maybe get up to like Rift S levels in resolution, but for tracking, that's where they need to improve. And however they want to do that, that's cool. But they just need to.
I bet you it's inside out tracking.
I can see that.
It just seems
there.
with like the Quest doing this thing and the fact that a lot of play spaces for people are limited.
Yeah.
And it's a console. There's probably not a lot of ports available to connect sensors if you're going that route.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
It just makes sense to me that they do that. And there's Sony, man. They got all that fucking technology and that money and the R&D.
They can make it happen.
I've seen some of the patents they file that are never going to come to the light of the day. But like, y'all are fucking trying to do some shit over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's my prediction for that next headset's inside out tracking.
No doubt.
And a better set of controllers. You don't use that move shit again. That shit is literally 10 years old.
Yeah. It's
more maybe.
Move on.
You need joysticks on the controllers at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm thinking, man. So on that note, I don't know if you got anything else you want to drop on them.
That's it for me. That's a nice little ending diatribe.
With the scrim, the obligatory scrim at the end.
Yeah, I gotta give you guys an update. That's that's my passion. It's my muse.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps me going. Keeps me going.
And then I'm happy about that.
Yeah. But on that note, Game Related Network signing off.
Well, we out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say hip hop for life and good night, Zach.
Yeah, good night, Zach.
Good night, bro. Sleep well. Don't I don't know. I don't know what you say to people about sleep anymore, but peace.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
I didn't want to put that on them though.
No, I mean, I've been there.
Same.
Don't let them bite.
Don't let them bite. Don't even let them in your house.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm having PTSD now. Good night.